Ladies and gentlemen, this is an article that came out in the Washington Post, um, March 19th, 2018. I'll leave the link to this article in the description box. Now, as I stated before in another video, there's a saying: the abortion clinics are in the black neighborhood, the fertility clinics are in the white neighborhood. And these women actually pay a lot of money to have their eggs removed and then frozen, and hoping at a later date they can get those eggs and have a baby. It is not unusual for it to all fail, no matter what effort they put forth to get pregnant. I've even been around women like this and worked with them, where they were trying to get pregnant, they froze their eggs, they did all the whole 9 yards, and still, when they went back to use those eggs that were frozen, they all failed. The struggle to conceive with frozen eggs. Bridget Adams became the poster child for freezing your eggs, but things didn't quite work out how she imagined. And see, nowadays, ladies and gentlemen, also another thing, it's more difficult for them to find someone to marry. It's not as easy as it was years ago. Years ago it was easy, but now these women, they're not having such an easy time anymore finding a partner. Bridget Adams caused a sensation 4 years ago when she appeared on the cover of Bloomberg's Business Week under the headline, "Freeze Your Eggs, Free Your Career." She was single and blonde and Vassar graduate who spoke fluent Italian and was working in tech marketing for a number of prestigious companies. Her story was one of empowerment. How a new fertility procedure was giving women more choices, as the magazine noted, provocatively, in the quest to have it all. Adams remembered feeling a wonderful sense of freedom after she froze her eggs in her late 30s, despite the $19,000 cost. It's very expensive to do this procedure. Her plan was to work a few more years, find a great guy to marry, and still have a house full of her own children. Things didn't turn out that way, the way that she hoped. In early 2017, with her 45th birthday looming and no sign of Mr. Right, she decided to start a family on her own. She excitedly unfroze the 11 eggs. She had stored and selected a sperm donor. 2 eggs failed to survive the thawing process. 3 more failed to fertilize. The left 6 embryos, of which 5 appeared to be abnormal. The last one was implanted in her uterus. On the morning of March 7th, she got the devastating news that it, too, had failed. Adams was not pregnant, and her chances of carrying her genetic child had dropped to near zero. She remembers screaming like a wild animal, throwing books, papers, her laptop, and collapsing to the floor. It was one of the worst days of my life. There were so many emotions. I was sad, I was angry, I was ashamed, she said. I questioned, why me? What did I do wrong? In an age when egg freezing has become so popular that hip employers such as Apple and Facebook cover it as a perk, and grandparents help finance the procedure like they might a down payment for a house. There's surprisingly little discussion about what happens years later when women try to use them. Fertility companies tend to advertise egg freezing, cryptopreservation in scientific terms. Okay. As something that can stop time, and many women believe they have investing in an insurance policy for future babies. But the math doesn't always hold up. On average, a woman freezing 10 eggs at age 36 has a 30 to 60% chance of having a baby with them, according to published studies. $19,000 is a lot of damn money to put out for something that has a great chance of failing and does fail quite often. The odds are higher for younger women, but they drop for older women. They also go up with the number of eggs stored. But the chances of success vary so wildly by individual that reproductive specialists say it's nearly impossible to predict the outcome based on aggravated data. Um, you know, maybe sometimes you just need to accept the fact that you just can't have a baby and look at other avenues like adopting. You know, everybody on this earth just are not fertile enough to have babies. It's part of life. I think when you do stuff like this, you're playing God. You know, you're doing something very unnatural in order to have a baby. Oh well. A number of Adam's friends were also early adopters of egg freezing. Today, they are facing a similar reckoning. So, not only her, but her friends froze eggs, and when they went to use their eggs, it all failed. Like I said, I worked with women that did this, and I don't recall any of them getting pregnant from their frozen eggs. That's a lot of damn money. $19,000 to have your eggs removed and frozen, and then it fails anyway. I mean, can you get that money back? No. You know, in my opinion, it fails because, see, those eggs were never meant to be frozen. You know, when you naturally have a baby, there is nothing frozen inside of you. Amy West, 43, a professor in Los Angeles who attended the D.C. area Sidwell Friends School growing up, is one of the lucky ones. She had a baby boy, 22 months old, and has eggs left over. Um, Caroline Gorig Lee, 46, a nurse from Haymarket, Virginia, froze 25 eggs and planned to have a large family with them. Okay, so she had twins. So it's really like a hit or miss type of thing. You know, it really is. But I'm just telling you, the women I met in my lifetime, they did not have much luck with this procedure. Okay, so 4 women's experience underscore the incredible uncertainty involved in egg freezing. All right, let me just go down a little more. It's total fiction and incorrect, Graffio said. Your whole life is beaten into your head that you're in control, and if you can't have a baby, you blame yourself. There has to be more dialogue about what women can be responsible for and what they are not responsible for. NYU Langone, began offering elective egg freezing in 2004, one of the first programs in the nation. Since then, about 150 babies have been born using thawed eggs, Griffio said. That represents a 50 to 60% success rate, hardly a guarantee. I tell you, I don't know. All I'm saying, you can see, egg freezing is skyrocketing among these women. A total of 20,000 women had their eggs frozen in the US, and you can see in 2009 all the way up to 2015 and how it's increased in popularity. Around the age of 35, women confront a fertility cuff when the chances of becoming pregnant decline sharply as the eggs decrease in numbers and quality. By age 40, the average woman has a 5% chance of getting pregnant at any given month. By 45, it's 1%. But you want to hear something, ladies and gentlemen? In Africa, those women give birth all the way into their 60s. And you can look this up. I'm not making this up at all. It just seems that here in the United States, they always try to tell you by 35, after that it's difficult. I don't believe that applies to all women. I believe that only applies to a certain group of women, but not all. But in Africa, it is not unusual for you to think, when you're looking at a baby being held by an older woman, that that might be her grandchild. That's her baby. That's their baby. It is very common there. And over here, it's almost like once you hit 30, it's almost like they discourage you from having children, when that was not the case at all. And when you look at even stories in the Bible, you see the story of Sarah giving birth in her 90s. I mean, it's in the Bible, you know. So I don't know. The 35, is that the norm for all women? I don't believe so. I think some women are no longer fertile once they get to that certain point, and other women can easily go into their 40s and 50s and still give birth with no problem. So I guess it depends on your culture and who you are. I've even known a few black women have change babies, when they're going through the change of life and they accidentally get pregnant. In fact, I knew two in my lifetime that were going through, just starting to get into menopause, and they got pregnant. In fact, one woman lives not far away from me, probably less than 2 miles from me, that was a good friend of my family, and that's what happened to her. She was going through her premenopause, and she got pregnant. Black woman, and she was damn near, um, almost, I think, if not 50. So it really depends. But tell me what you think, ladies and gentlemen. I don't know. I always had misgivings about removing something from your body and having it frozen. I don't know. It just don't sound right. Please leave your comment and subscribe. Don't forget to hit on the notification bell twice, and join me on Black Junction TV and blackspot.com. Peace, family.